The Forest of Scales. In a peat-dark forest stood a small village where every house bore an iron scale hung beside its door. The villagers used their scales to weigh firewood, seed, bread, and even favors. Nothing was given freely. Every deed had to be weighed just so. At the far end of the village lived Corvin, keeper of the largest scale of all. It was not only heavier than the others, but more precise than any ever made. The villagers believed that if a trade was to be fair, it must pass through his hands. Yet there was something few ever noticed. Each of Corvin's weights was heavier than the number carved upon it. Only a little, not enough to rouse suspicion, but enough that advantage always leaned his way. That year the harvest failed. Barley grew thin, granaries stood hollow. Still the villagers came to the great scale, for they had no other choice. Corvin said, "In times of scarcity, accuracy matters most," and he raised his price. Soon the villagers began to weigh things once beyond measure. Gratitude, assistance, promises for the future. Debts were entered into ledgers, shortfalls were paid back with more. On a night of pitch-black rain, a young craftsman came carrying his own small scale, asking to trade it for a sack of flour. Corvin placed both scales upon the table. The small one meant to weigh, the great one meant only ever to judge. For the first time, the great scale tipped. For the first time, it did not balance. Corvin frowned and added a weight. The scale tipped further. He added another and another until the table shuddered and split in two. The next morning, the villagers found Corvin alone amid twisted iron. His granaries were still full, but no one came to trade. They learned to use their own small scales instead, not as precise, but enough to live by and enough to trust one another. The village grew poorer, but the forest grew lighter. As for the great scale, it was never repaired, for the people had come to understand that some systems collapse not because their error is too large, but because it always errs in the same direction.